From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8. Now, the latest news. Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, July 13th. Here is meteorologist Marcus Bailey with a look at our forecast today.
Cold front is stationed back out toward Illinois, and that will sweep through the state this afternoon. It will trigger scattered downpours as we head into the second half of the day, just like yesterday. Not anticipating anything severe, but we could have some minor flash flooding issues as we head into the afternoon, especially areas that have been hit hard the last couple of days with heavy rainfall amounts. 76 at noon. We'll finish with a high of 82 later on for the day today. Once this cold front clears, we'll actually start to dry things out, at least briefly. We'll talk about how long the dry weather sticks around and when we may see more rain chances in the 8-day forecast. I'll have that for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Now to major headlines coming out of Indianapolis. 2 people are dead and 4 others in critical condition after 2 separate shootings. Both happened within 2 hours of each other. Police believe the most recent of the shootings was a murder-suicide. So just before 3 o'clock this morning, police were called to the 8200 block of Gilmore Drive. It's on the east side, a really residential area.
Well, basically, I was in bed. I heard a bunch of police cars coming by. They multiple, 10, 12, 13 or so. And I woke up and just came there to try to see what was going on.
When things like this in our community happens, people don't sleep. People don't sleep. Cases have to be solved. And we have to bring our community justice for what has taken place and the lives that are lost and the people that have been affected by these incidents.
Officers say they found a man and woman dead in the home. So far, they haven't said what the relationship between the two was. A couple hours before that, just after 1 this morning, 4 people were shot in what police are calling a gunfight. This happened on Arborcrest Drive, right on the border of Lawrence. Police say the gunfight started inside a home there, moved outside. Police found guns, but didn't say if they were found inside the home or inside some vehicles that were found outside with bullet holes in them. All 4 men have been taken to the hospital, critical condition. Police say one of the men was bleeding out pretty badly. We asked IMPD what it is going to take to help stop this violence. Here's what they had to say.
Right now, we're on a crunch for officers. We have some officers that work 16-hour shifts every single day because we're so short. We can't get people to apply to be the police. And so it really puts us at a disadvantage.
That officer added that the department needs more equipment also to better combat crime and cooperation from the community. If you see something, say something. Police will be speaking with neighbors to see if they have any surveillance cameras. And right now, investigators do not know the motive behind this shooting. And all of this happened just hours after the City County Council passed a more than $3 million bill to reduce these types of crimes. News 8's Demi Johnson explains why some counselors had concerns about the plan.
Yeah, one of the biggest disagreements surrounding the proposal had to do with an amendment presented by Republican counselors. It would have put money toward gunshot detection systems and license plate readers. That was also a suggestion, among others, from FOP President Rick Snyder. IMPD said that would not be a wise way to spend money at this time. That amendment did not pass. Several organizations were at the meeting with dozens of speakers calling on the council to defund IMPD altogether. Even some counselors who voted in favor of the proposal said they had concerns with it.
No, Bob, I'm not done talking.
No.
You gonna listen to me?
But you're done. Hold on a second.
Anyways, like I was saying.
You're done cursing.
Point of order.
All right. Everybody out who is making noise.
We continue to spend and appropriate dollars towards this specific initiative, but yet our crime rates continue to rise. So I'm starting to lose confidence in the expenditures that we're creating.
I'm hoping that as a council body, as we move forward, we can start looking at more immediate measures to combat violent crime rather than what we're doing now.
Those counselors also called on their colleagues to have more conversations with the public about where they'd like to see the money spent. Here's the breakdown of the newly passed plan. More than half of the $3 million will go toward the Office of Public Health and Safety in Indianapolis. Mayor Joe Hogsett says it'll help with juvenile justice, domestic violence, and conflict resolution. The plan also gives IMPD more money for technology and data analysis. The mayor wasn't at the meeting, but said in a statement, as cities across the country also see alarming increases in gun violence, we must continue to seek innovative, localized solutions to tackling this multi-layered issue. This set of investments is vital to continue moving those efforts forward. Demi Johnson, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Today, Terre Haute Detective Greg Ferenczi will be laid to rest. Funeral services began at 11 this morning at the Holman Center at Indiana State University. There'll be a procession heading to the Calvary Cemetery starting at 2 this afternoon. Governor Eric Holcomb has ordered all flags in Vigo County to be flown at half-staff in honor of Ferenczi. A memorial fund benefiting Ferenczi's family has been set up as well at First Financial Bank. You can make monetary donations there at any of those bank's branches. And this morning, federal officials are looking into a potential side effect associated with the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The shot could be linked to a rare neurological condition. John Lawrence reports medical experts are saying the risk is still very low.
The CDC and FDA have launched an investigation into a potential link between the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine and rare cases of a neurological complication known as Guillain-Barré syndrome that can lead to muscle weakness and possible paralysis.
So for them to announce this investigation, it means that they think that there's a plausible link. It shows once again how carefully we take the safety of vaccines in this country.
The FDA has updated the label for the vaccine to say there may be an increased risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome in people who recently got the Johnson & Johnson shot. But the CDC stresses even if the vaccine does raise the risk of the syndrome, it's still better to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Vaccine maker Johnson & Johnson confirms it is reporting any information on adverse effects linked to its COVID-19 vaccine to health authorities, saying in a statement, "We strongly support raising awareness of the signs and symptoms of rare events to ensure they can be quickly identified and effectively treated. The chance of having this occur is very low, and the rate of reported cases exceeds the background rate by a small degree."
Even if it ends up being real, it's still fewer than 1 in a million vaccine doses that end up with this syndrome. And there are around 3,000 to 5,000 people that get Guillain-Barré syndrome every year with or without vaccines.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The federal guidance on vaccine boosters is not expected to change for now. That's according to a senior health official. Pfizer met with public health leaders yesterday after saying people who got its vaccine may need a booster at some point. That led to pushback from the CDC and the FDA, which said no one who is fully vaccinated needs boosters right now. Pfizer is still working on a booster shot and plans to apply for FDA emergency authorization for it next month. Today, there will be a hearing that could halt IU's vaccine mandate for now. IU says all students and staff must be vaccinated for COVID-19 by the start of the fall semester. 8 students are suing, saying the rule violates their rights to consent to medical treatment and control over their own bodies. Today, attorneys for the group will ask a judge to pause the rule until the lawsuit is settled. Also today, a push to get people in rural Hamilton County their COVID-19 vaccine shots. Countywide leaders say almost 69% of people 12 and older are vaccinated. That number is much lower when you look at a specific community like Sheridan. It's 45%. That's where the county is opening its new clinic. Health officials are offering the Pfizer shot at Sheridan High School. The clinic runs from 4 this afternoon to 8 tonight. No registration is required or for an appointment. The clinic is open 5 other days. We have those times on wishtv.com. Just head there right now. You can get there through your phone or through your desktop and click on the As Seen on Wish TV section. 2 pop-up clinics are planned this week in Indianapolis. The Marion County Health Department says the goal is to vaccinate city and federal employees as well as downtown workers returning to the office. Health officials will be giving shots on Monument Circle tomorrow and Thursday from 11 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. The Moderna and Johnson & Johnson versions will be available. You do not need an appointment. And people in Indiana seeking unemployment assistance could see their pandemic benefits kick back in later this week. The Department of Workforce Development says it could resume the federal expanded payments as early as Friday. The move comes after the Indiana Court of Appeals sided with an earlier court ruling demanding Indiana rejoin the federal pandemic assistance program. That includes that extra $300 per week payment and expansion of unemployment eligibility past 26 weeks to include self-employed and contract workers as well. Governor Holcomb is responding to the decision, saying DWD will work with the Department of Labor to comply with the judge's order. And now to an IT-made investigation into the unemployment system in Indiana. Our team learned an Indiana woman is helping thousands of people with their unemployment claims. She's doing this free of charge. IT-Mate's Jasmine Miner spoke to the woman about how she started her Facebook group to help people.
What keeps you going?
Coffee.
This mom of two says she'll get calls at 3 a.m. in the morning of people desperate for help.
Last week of April in 2020, I was up for weeks, 24 hours every day. I didn't sleep at all.
She started Jennifer's Indiana Unemployment Help Facebook group, where she's been able to help people with their claims. She says if a claim has an issue, it won't be fixed until an investigator clears it.
Indiana Department of Workforce Development currently has 16 issues listed on their COVID-19 frequently asked questions worksheet. The list that I currently have a list of 47.
All of which she says can keep someone from getting paid. The most common problem she sees is after people find the issue and then are told there was an error on their appeal form, but they're not told what that error is.
You can't get anyone to answer the phone. You can't get anybody to respond to an email.
So she created these templates others can fill out, and then she helps email them over to the State House.
I was doing all the legwork and having the claimant send the letter to the claims representatives, and then the claims representatives would clear the issue. I'm doing all the work, girl.
But she says it's taking a long time to get that appeal cleared.
I specifically know of one woman, she had to wait over a year just for one error. That's the longest that I've seen.
Wow. In the meantime, she says she's often like a mama bear, trying to keep people from giving up hope.
I've had people tell me that they were on the brink of depression until I helped them, that they were on the verge of giving up until I gave them hope. These people shouldn't be losing their homes. They shouldn't be losing everything that they own.
But she knows she can't keep this work up forever. And she keeps asking.
And I'm not the one that should be saying all this, but who's dropping the ball?
Again, that was IT-Mate's Jasmine Miner reporting. If you would like to join Jennifer's Facebook group or to find out all of the resources that she's collected for people who have questions, we have all of that for you at wishtv.com. Just, again, grab your phone or go to your desktop, however you get online these days. Go to wishtv.com and click on the As Seen on Wish TV section at the top of the homepage. And today, FedEx is hiring. The company is holding a job fair to find 150 people to work. The company needs to fill warehouse jobs on all shifts, days, nights, weekends. Pay starts at $14 an hour. You do not need any experience, but you must be at least 18 years old. The job fair is at the Holiday Inn on Ameriplex Parkway. It's just south of the airport, and it runs until 5 o'clock this afternoon. Also happening today, a celebration of the new child tax credit. The group Hoosier Action is holding a picnic at University Park just south of the War Memorial. Organizers promise food, fun, and a question and answer session about the credit. The change bumps the annual per-child credit to $3,600 a year for kids 6 and younger and $3,000 for older children per child. Families can claim half of the credit when filing taxes. The other half is paid in monthly installments until the end of the year. And today, President Biden is set to make a case for voting rights during a speech in Philadelphia. He's been facing growing pressure from civil rights activists and Democrats as several state legislatures introduce bills restricting voting access. Aides say he'll lay out a moral case against the restrictions.
How he will redouble his commitment to using every tool at his disposal to continue to fight to protect the fundamental right of Americans to vote against the onslaught of voter suppression laws based on a dangerous and discredited conspiracy theory that culminated in an assault on our Capitol.
Biden has declared that protecting voting rights is the central cause of his presidency.
As soon as they come back in the state of Texas, they will be arrested. They will be cabined inside the Texas Capitol until they get their job done.
Risking arrest, Democratic state representatives in Texas are in Washington, D.C. They left their home state in an attempt to block a voting bill from moving forward. Without them, the state legislature won't have the minimum number of members needed for action on a bill opponents claim would suppress votes in communities of color. The legislature met over the weekend. Both chambers passed their own versions of the bill along party lines, and they both include provisions that would limit access to mail-in voting and restrict early voting hours. Democrats are hoping the drastic measure will bring meaningful action from federal officials.
We're not going to put up with that. Democracy is on the line. The eyes of the nation are on Texas. And we came here a few weeks ago with about 20 men and women to make our case to the U.S. Senate. This time we brought a little reinforcements.
Well, I would say it's a very un-Texan thing to do, to cut and run in the face of a fight. And obviously they're not going to be successful. We're simply not going to vote to turn over our elections to the federal government.
The state's Democrats did something similar in 2003. That was a protest of the redistricting process. Lawmakers will have to gather this fall for redistricting again. And now to some business headlines. World hunger spiked last year, outpacing population growth and probably reaching the highest since 2005. The United Nations says as many as 811 million people, about a tenth of the global population, were undernourished in 2020. The supply chain issues and travel restrictions from the pandemic put healthy food further out of reach for many people. McDonald's reportedly adds tuition and childcare to sweeten benefits in a bid to attract new workers. The Wall Street Journal reports a childcare benefit has become popular among companies during the pandemic as employers and Americans emerging from the pandemic seek to adapt. Other major restaurant chains, including Papa John's, Chipotle, and P.F. Chang's, have similarly boosted incentives. Americans' inflation fears reached a fever pitch in June, rising to the highest level since June of 2013 as the price of consumer goods continued to surge. The Federal Reserve says Americans also expect the prices of homes to keep rising, with one-year expectations unchanged at 6.2% in June, substantially higher than the previous one-year average of 3.7%. Still, consumers said they expect the price of things like food and gasoline to fall slightly, while expectations for college tuition reached 7%, the highest reading since April of 2019. The new plant-based pepperoni at Little Caesars is made by vegan brand Field Roast and will be available as a topping on any custom pizza and as part of a Planteroni pizza made with a vegan pepperoni and dairy-based cheese. The chain is also featuring the new vegan pepperoni as part of a Slices and Sticks promotion where for $8, customers get half of a Planteroni pizza and dairy cheese covered breadsticks. Expectations are growing for the Colts' new quarterback. We will finally see Carson Wentz in live action in 2 weeks. He's coming off a frustrating final season as an Eagle. He was sacked 50 times in 12 games and lost more games than he's won over the last 3 years. Our Colts analyst, Marlon Jackson, says confidence will be key for Wentz in his first season with his new team.
With all the right pieces around him, I wonder where his psyche is psychologically with the type of season that he had last year and if that shattered his confidence. So I'm just looking early on to see a confident Carson Wentz. You know, that's not, making any bold statements, but confidence is belief in yourself. And then your ability is key to anything that we do.
Colts training camp begins July 28th at Grand Park. And today, Conner Prairie starts filling its new look hot air balloon to get ready for the first flights later this week. The balloon ride has been grounded since May for a makeover. The museum says it can take up to 7 hours to fill it. Tickets for the rides range from $8 to $17 depending on age, what day you go, and if you're a member. And the cities of Carmel and Fishers are asking for volunteers to help clean up the White River. You can join a cleanup event on Friday, August 13th. It starts at 9 in the morning at Conner Prairie. Volunteers will paddle along the river in canoes and kayaks for either 2 or 6 miles. Organizers say helpers get complimentary admission to Conner Prairie and a White River cleanup t-shirt. This has been your News 8 Daily 8. For Wish TV, I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast on News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.